Go Team Cap! Alright guys, it's here. Welcome to Movie Reedviews for my review of Captain America Civil War. It's the newest one in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the third one in the Captain America series, the franchise. And so we're going to dive into it. There's a lot of characters, a lot of plot points. Let's go. There are some deeper plot points, but I'm going to just go over the basics in case you don't really know about the movie or the plot. The UN is trying to enact the Sokovia Accords so that it'll give government oversight to like the Avengers and they have to report to them or only go out when they're called. Steve Rogers, Captain America, doesn't really believe that's right and that the safest hands are still their own. That's like a quote from him, so that's why I did that. So, he believes that it really should just be them calling the shots and just kind of being like a private organization, but Iron Man doesn't think that. He kind of feels some guilt for things that have happened and things that he's caused before, so he feels like they do need some oversight over them. Captain America also is trying to protect his friend Bucky, his childhood friend, who's also the Winter Soldier, and, the Winter Soldier was trained or brainwashed to be an assassin when he's triggered. So he's normal, and then if someone recites like this code or these keywords, then he becomes an assassin. So he's trying to protect his friend because the government's trying to go after him, but really, he's his only friend still here like in modern day, and so he feels like that connection, that tether to his past life. And so you have these conflicting ideologies between Iron Man and Captain America. You also have Captain America trying to protect his friend Bucky, who's kind of like on the outskirts and a third party about this. Now to talk about the characters, there's like three different circle of characters, like the main ones, supporting ones, and side ones. So I'm not going to give the actors' names because this is just going to take too long. You can look them up. So I'll just call them by the characters' names and say like how they were portrayed. Captain America, let's start with him. I'm Team Cap, and I think he's played great. The portrayal's really good. You get to like see just like these conflicting ideas. He doesn't want to budge on his stance, but a lot of the Avengers are starting to go one way and then they're starting to be torn apart. So you really get to see like this toil in him, but he's also trying to protect his friends. So I think that character was just great. Iron Man, I'll call him by his name. Robert Downey Jr. does a fantastic portrayal of Tony Stark in this movie. He's already great, he's pretty much Tony Stark in real life, but he just portrays him even better this time. He's not really an antagonist. He's not really a villain. I guess he's more of an antagonist since it's Captain America's movie, but I think this is one of RDJ's best performances so far. And then the Winter Soldier also is pretty good. His acting is good. He doesn't have much to do, like, acting-wise, but he's still a great character, and as he's trying to, like, not become this assassin and just trying to deal with these consequences of what he's done, outside of his will. But those are the main three. That's, like, the main circle of characters in this movie. Now for a few more supporting characters, you have Falcon, which is more on Cap's side, and he's like his new friend from like this age, and he's pretty cool because you get to see more of his gadgets and like the Falcon technology that he uses. Then you also have Rhodey / War Machine. I think you get to see more of Rhodey in the movie than War Machine, so I can't really comment on War Machine. It was cool, but you do get to see more of Rhodey and how he supports, Tony and his ideologies. And then you also have Black Widow. She's kind of torn between some sides, but you can look at the posters to see which side she chooses. But I think, the actress, okay, I'll just call her by her name, Scarlett Johansson, it's hard to do. She, I think she does a really good job as well because you get to just see her conflict on both sides. And I'll throw in Wanda. Scarlet Witch was also kind of like a supporting character because you get to learn a little bit more about her. And I'm actually a bigger fan of her now because of this movie. And lastly, the more like side characters. You have Vision, which you get to learn a little bit more about him and it's kind of like his personality and how he deals with the Avengers. He's really like, he has a lot of insight he has a lot of vision about the different ideologies and maybe which way we should go, but so he was pretty cool to get a little bit more of from his character. Hawkeye you don't really get to see a lot of, and he's probably the one that they didn't dive most into for his like ideology and which stance he chose. Everyone else you really get to see that, but Hawkeye was there. He did have a couple cool moments. And then Ant-Man, geez, I love Ant-Man. He wasn't in the movie a ton, like I mentioned, he's a side character, but when he was in the movie, either as Steve Lang or as Ant-Man, he brought a lot to the table and he was hilarious. Lastly, you're introduced into two new side characters into the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. First is Black Panther, which is T'Challa, or the King of Wakanda. You really get to see a little bit more about him and his culture, and why he might think some things. So it's a great introduction to his character, and I'm like, I'm really buying this. Plus, Black Panther rocks. He has like the claws, the vibranium suit, and just like the way he fights like a panther. And then also, come on, Spider-Man. This kid is like this young kid. He's actually a kid. He's not like Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield in his 30s. So I think that's a great introduction as well. Just like the humor, what he brings with Tony Stark and that connection. And I just can't wait to see any more of Spider-Man. He was just hilarious and just a great addition to the movie. Whew, made it through all the characters. Now for the movie itself, you really get to see both sides. I mean, it's a Cap movie, but like you mentioned, Iron Man's not really an antagonist. I mean, he kind of is, but you can see both sides. I kind of sided with Cap, but then there were a couple times that I sided with Tony, just like in my mind. So, I mean, when you can actually split it down that way and give equal time to both sides and see both ideologies, I think that's really good. I mean, the extra villain that's in the movie, he's okay. He's not like the best, or he's not bad, but I just thought like, okay, he's there. He added some things to the movie, but I mean, Marvel kind of has that problem, but I don't think it was like a bad villain. Now the action is superb and just like action filled and just kind of like, it's very like down to earth and gritty at times, but then also there's just times where it's just like insane and there's like, it's like adrenaline fueled and it kind of gives like a little flavor moment or a little, special moment to each character. Of course, like I mentioned, some of those main characters you do get to see a lot of, but a lot of the side characters. Ant-Man has some great scenes. The two new introduced characters, Black Panther and Spider-Man, they add a lot to the movie as their characters and in the action. They have some really cool scenes, but even like Hawkeye and Vision has some moments. Like I mentioned, I'm a really big fan of Black Widow now because of some of her action scenes. So I think they gave a special moment to each character, but then overall you have these wide shots and great action and like in stairwells or at the airport or even just like in this like snowy place with a few of the characters. And so it's just really well done. If you're on the fence, I think you'll at least like this one. I mean, because it's a spectacle of a blockbuster, you have great action, but you also get to have some drama and ideologies. When the action was done and they were just kind of like talking in this room and talking about their viewpoints, it definitely wasn't boring. It was like, man, okay, like I'm siding with this person, this. So I think you'll at least like this movie. There's a lot to the movie offers. Guys, I don't do this very often, but I'm going to give this movie 5 out of 5. I think it was only like once or twice I did that last year, but I really don't know how you can make this movie better. The villain was okay, but I think he served his purpose for what the movie was. They weren't really focusing on him. They were focusing on all these other characters. Everything and everyone brought their A game. Acting, action, drama, the characters, just everything was on point. And yeah, it's up there with like Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier for me. Those are my top 2 right now. I don't know where Civil War goes in that. It might be like number 3, or it might fit somewhere in between those two, but I think all those movies are fantastic, including Civil War. Go see this. Yeah, come on, go support good movies, but what's your favorite MCU movie? Maybe excluding or including Civil War, you can add it if you've seen this movie or if this review helped, comment, subscribe, like this video, please. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more reviews on Movie Reedviews. And yeah, I'm going to probably review X-Men coming out in a couple weeks. I don't know if there's anything between then, maybe some other videos. Oh, look for my spoiler review for this, maybe next week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.